right, just doing a little mic check here, if you know what I mean. James, it's been a while. We do the show now with music on. It keeps everybody paying, so just ignore it, and we'll just do regular talking. All right, so I'm doing a little of this. Kanda, what's the deal?
Can you turn on the fourth mic so that when she's on, we're just making sure there's no weird shit?
Sounds good to me. James, not to start personal, what's the last movie you saw in a movie theater?
Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, let's talk about that. All right. Okay. Did you see the original?
Yes.
Okay.
A long time ago.
Okay, please hold. Thank you. Very good. This is outstanding news. James, not to start personal, what's the last movie you saw in a movie theater?
Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, let's talk about that. All right. Okay. Did you see the original? Oh, God damn, that is good. You are a fucking pro. Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
I don't give a fuck.
Oh.
This is the new me. I'm learning you can walk around with a robe on and your prick out. Just be ready to retire at 65. You can do whatever you want. It's a man's world.
Finally using your privilege.
I care what people think, and I need to stop that. Anyways, a very exciting show today. The great James Adomian is with us. Let me mention this. I have a message from our buddy Newsy. I say Newsy because that's what he has on his, that's his forum's name. Okay, if somebody's going to change their name, they got to really change it, right? Hey-o, he says, finally, I can record a clip of a podcast that was particularly laugh out loud funny and share it with my friends. With the new iPhone update, you can record your screen.
You know, I thought you can record your screen. I didn't know that you could record the sound coming off it also.
I didn't think you could because I tested it on a phone call with somebody. Right? That sounds shady. But they knew. I swear they knew. But you could. If it's not a phone call, you can record. I played a clip of our show and I was able to record it.
Yeah, he sent me a clip of the show that he took. It was amazing.
If you haven't enabled the feature, I highly suggest you do. Save your stories about why you don't update for someone who cares, he says. So you too can utilize this feature. Today I used the feature to send my mom the clip where Hemda is saying, if you have a storage unit, fix your life. The clip ended with light it on fire. And I still haven't heard back from my mom yet. But it's a difficult conversation. It needs to be had, and glad it was from Kenda's mouth and not mine. Just empty the storage units, mom. Shit. Anyways, maybe you can isolate funnier things and post them on your Facebook, Instagram, or even text it. You guys hear that car? That is like it's like one of those old Ford cars.
No, did you really hear that?
You didn't hear that? Yeah, you're trying to trick me, right?
No, what just happened? I think you're playing a joke on me, and I'm not sure. Oh.
No, you didn't hear that.
No, I didn't.
Interesting. Today I used the, let's see, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, maybe you can isolate funnier things and post them on Facebook, Instagram, or even text it to that one person that you know. All they need to hear is a clip, and they'll be into it. Here's a tutorial how to get it done, and it says on the forum. So thank you very much. Somebody wrote me saying, Keith, I had a problem downloading a show from 2 weeks ago. What's going on? Well, you just played yourself, my friend. That means you're not subscribed. And shame. Well, it's good to hear something needed to be fixed. You should never have had that problem. Be subscribed. Get the show as soon as it comes out automatically. You never have to worry about it. You're on your commute. You're on your what have yous. Am I right or wrong?
You're very right.
Thank you. All right. Now let's quit fucking around.
You just wanted to isolate some clip where I go, you're very right.
Thank you. And now I'm going to save that. I'm going to play that on my phone.
Right. Send it to your mom.
Record it. All right, everybody. Today's guest. Well, come on. Played Bernie Sanders in Trump versus Bernie, and the CD, the album, rather, live from Brooklyn, made it #1 on iTunes, and rightly so. This is so fucking funny. Now, why there would ever be a debate between these two, who knows? And quite frankly, who cares? Featured on At Midnight, featured on Comedy Bang Bang, Last Comic Standing, James Adomian.
Hey. Good to be back. How are we?
Who's that? Who you doing now?
I don't know. I'm here in Queens. I thought I'd Queens it up.
Does your family make you do impressions, like around the dinner table, this kind of thing?
No, my family, my brothers all do impressions, so I kind of listen to them.
Really?
Yeah, I take a back seat.
Could they do anybody that you can't?
Well, yeah, that happens, but then they'll also like make fun of me. I mean, there's family members we make fun of. It's kind of like the currency in Adomian land. Now you're
making
fun of people's voices.
You're a genius at impersonations, quite frankly.
There's too many geniuses.
But when you hear them do you hear it?
No, I go. I do what everybody else does. I go, that's not me. I go, that's pretty good, but the voice, the timbre, it's not me.
And then they go, it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you do the same impressions? And does it become a competition?
Oh, everybody does an impression of my dad.
Okay.
But it's everybody. You kind of want to just see everybody's take on it,
Right. Would you do it? Would you, like you and your brother, do your dad in front of him and he picks who's better?
No, it's more like we do it and it's like just us without him, or like the other family members when he's not around. Oh,
you know what, Keith? You and your siblings do that too, and this whole time I know Keith didn't meet his siblings, didn't meet his family, and he has a very specific way about talking about his family. His father's cadence is always the same. You don't really make fun of your mom as much or at all.
She's a goddamn angel.
And then I got around you and your brothers, and they did this impersonation of the dad. And they finished the impersonation in unison. And I was like, this must be what your dad is really like. Oh. It was really, yeah, it was like, he's exaggerating. Nobody acts like that. Nobody is like that. And I'm like, oh, God, this is real.
He has a certain way of talking, son. When he imparts his wisdom, it's almost like a character from Star Trek.
And there's a pause and then a quick ending.
Yes.
Yes. But because I think he takes on, that's the cadence of smart people.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah. And was this like this in your guys' family? Because I don't know how much humor, Keith, you were allowed to have because you weren't allowed to laugh at the dinner table.
That's true.
If you weren't allowed to laugh at the dinner table?
If we would laugh inside, we were told to go outside.
These are written rules.
Yes.
Okay?
If we laughed outside, we were told to shut up because wind travels sound.
So then everybody, it was supposed to be quiet. Is that the end?
The neighbors would know that we were laughing, and that would be too much.
The neighbors were like a mile away.
This is terrible.
Yeah.
Keith thinks he wasn't abused as a child.
I didn't realize back then how insane that is.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And Henda separately, of course. She was told by her father that, or was it your father or your mother?
Your father.
The father, that her laughter would not allow her to be married.
He said, no one's gonna marry you with that laugh. And I know he was joking, but he was terrified of how I laughed.
That doesn't sound like a joke.
His response was like, ew. This terrifies my dad. Watch this. I could scare the shit out of my dad. Ready? Halloween's coming. My dad's under the table right now somewhere. He feels it. I know it.
Oh, my God.
I know.
That's so horrible.
But
at least I was allowed to laugh.
That's your quote.
That's what I'm thinking now.
That's your gravestone.
Yeah.
Like maybe you can tell a joke or two at the dinner table, but don't push it. You didn't know where the line was, but it was there every so often.
Well, that's because your dad never wanted kids around, but he understood that the Catholic thing to do was to have sex without a condom. And then he's like, fuck, another one.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted you. Sorry. What happened with laughter in my family? Actually, we would laugh a lot. My whole family is very, very funny. And the weirdest part was you can only get your honesty about the family through jokes. And then if dad laughed, then everything's okay. It's like in those 80s movies where you told the big businessman how he really was in a joke, and then everyone got scared, but then the businessman laughed.
Then he laughs.
Yeah.
And then it's okay.
I ended up calling my parents. They've been calling me, and they knew something was wrong because lately I've been calling a little more often.
Oh, you have been?
I've been calling here and again, and they noticed I haven't been on schedule. And so they would keep saying, how are things? Blah, blah, and they knew something was up. So I finally called them, and when I got both of them on the phone, I told them that I'm getting a divorce.
Are they the last people technically that you're telling?
Yes. Yes. And
how'd you say?
My dad answered, how you doing?
Son?
Yes. Hello, son. Called me by the wrong name, but finally got it. There's 5 of us. It gets confusing.
Plus, your middle name is your brother's name, so.
Right. He thought that would help, but it doesn't. It makes it harder. And he said, how you doing? I'm like, I'm good. Things are well. He's like, what's been going on with you? I'm like, well, I'll wait till Mom gets to the phone, but how are you?
That's not scary, Keith.
Well, what am I going to do?
Right.
It's the only thing I could do.
I'm going to wait till Mom gets to the phone.
Yeah.
This is nothing small.
Yeah.
Well, we know I didn't wreck your car. That's the good news. So they got on the phone. And I said, okay, well, here's why I haven't been calling lately. I'm getting a divorce. And they were shocked. And I say that because...
How do they act shocked?
They laughed at the dinner table.
That's the only time you can laugh, when you're horrified. They don't know emotions. So they were just like, oh my. And I'm like, do you remember, Mom, when we were in a theme park and just out of the blue in line, you brought up, you know what? Never break up with Catherine. Always stay together because me and your father used to fight. And now we got through it. And now we're fine.
And this was just a couple months ago, and you're already separated.
We're most likely going to separate at the time. But I'm like, why? How did this come up? Like, you must know.
Did you ask them this?
I brought it up then, but
Okay.
I said, I figured you must know. It's a weird thing to bring up, but you didn't push it, so I didn't. But then you would be like, Happy October 1st. Say hi to Catherine. So that would be weird, but they admitted that they had no idea. She's like, I'm just a weirdo.
Oh, sweet.
So you know, I'm just saying, we got into some friend zone and kept not fixing what was going on, and you know, we're apart, and I'm okay. Who wouldn't understand it?
Your Catholic parents who believe that you should stay together despite everything. Your mother who just said, "Hey, this could pass." I don't know. I thought maybe they would, you know, worry at you. You know what I mean?
My dad, right. Well, my dad was a Catholic priest, of course, and he would, you know, this would be a big deal, I think, if it was a religious ceremony. So once I reminded him that it wasn't a religious ceremony, there was no problems.
You're like, we were never married anyway. God doesn't care.
Yeah. Yeah, they laughed at it, and that was it.
He was a Catholic priest before his family?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so he divorced God first. Did you mention that? Because I think you should.
He didn't give me a hard time, so I didn't have to.
Oh, okay. Push came to shove. I had that in my back pocket.
So, yeah, it seemed fine. You know, my dad was asking some questions, trying to figure it out. And I can tell he wasn't, he always thinks there's more to something when you tell him.
Well, this is a divorce, so the first time it's fair to think that.
Well, I said, you know, I'll tell you things as I know them, as I can figure out how to say them. But right now, we just, you know, I know things I did. When there's a problem or she misunderstood something I said and got angry, I'm like, well, why would I say something that would anger you? Forget, you know, why are we arguing about something? Forget it. And I would just stop it. Well, obviously, things are going to linger. So I would share things like that. And then about halfway through the call, my dad says, "What? Do you have a new address?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's the address?" So I know what that means. I know is that, and he knows this as the call's going, that he's going to write me a letter about the divorce, which is, they're always out there, but I love them because they're so goofy. But they're yes.
After our brief conversation on the phone.
You are so good. That's dead on.
I've never heard the guy. I'm just imagining.
You are amazing.
Keith, it's very important to us to impart a few pages of wisdom.
Yes.
In pen.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You really are good.
He's good. He's good. I'm telling you.
We should have, like, James write the letter, and then when you get the letter from your dad, we just compare.
Compare?
Yeah, it'll just be 2 words off.
Can you do my army friend, Rob? He passed away. I'd love to hear his voice.
I need to know more than that.
He had a gun.
He's about 6'2", Texas.
Hi, Keith. How you doing?
God damn, I'm going to cry. It's beautiful. Yeah, so my dad didn't say much, but I do know a letter's coming, and, you know, God will be in there somehow.
God is always there, Keith. Come on.
You know, and somehow it not being my fault completely, even though he doesn't know nothing. That'll be in there somewhere. He did say,
will there be seeds in it? I'm writing this down. There'll be something about planting seeds and sowing seeds.
There'll be about him hoping the next person I get with long term is religious and that I go back to church. That'll definitely be in there. There'll be a couple Bible quotes. There'll be my mom's signature on it, written by him, because she never saw the letter. And it'll be very preachy. The whole family will wish me well, even though they knew nothing about it.
Why does he bother? You're good.
Right. So we'll see.
You should
He did ask me.
You should get ahead of it. Send him a letter first.
So I said, "Yeah, I'm in my own place. She has her new place." And he said, "Do you need shelves?"
Oh.
I'm like, "What? Shelves? Do you need shelves?" I'm like, "I have everything. I'm good. Thank you." Then we're talking. Then mid conversation, he jumps in. Me and my mom are talking. And he just jumps in and says, "Do you have a TV?" I'm like, I do have a TV.
Extra stuff he has. He wants to unload on
I guess so. Do you need?
That'll be in the letter. The letter will come with like a big UPS box.
An inventory.
I have given you the Bible on VHS. You may peruse that.
You know what? But what's funny is you're 40-something years old. You just said that you got divorced.
Right.
And I can't tell if him worrying if you have a TV is him thinking you're an idiot or him going like, well, you know, when you move, you need some stuff.
Well, you know how parents always assume the worst.
And you gotta have a TV.
So he assumes, you know, I'm living in a bomb shelter.
Keith, I'm worried about you. Do you have a Roku? A functioning Apple TV? Keith, your mother and I are up all night. Do you have Netflix?
Is your TV at least 4K, son?
Did she change the Hulu password behind your back?
He changed the password.
Legally, morally, I can't give you my password, son. But if you go to church and you meet somebody, after we hung up, I said, all right, take care. I love you. And I will not tell Catherine hi.
How
How
did they
about
laugh?
that? They did. They enjoyed it.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And mean. What the hell?
But so that's it. Yeah, it took about an hour.
Wow.
It went fast. It felt fast. And that's it.
So were you scared for not that you were scared?
I wasn't scared. It's just I didn't want to just because I don't know. It's hassle. It's just it's an hour I don't feel like doing.
Did your parents invite you back to live with them as an option?
I swear to God, that'll be in the letter.
Okay.
That'll be not only. I'm not exaggerating, James. Not only will that be in the letter will be a list of rules I have to follow if I want to live there. I guarantee.
As part of the generous offer.
Right. You can come back, get your life together, maybe sell that TV for a bus ticket. Come with us and stay here and maybe find love. Who knows? And all I ask, and all I've ever asked, is that you follow my simple rules. Help around the house. I don't know why you wouldn't want to. I'm asking simply, could you help out around the house? Why wouldn't you do that?
In writing.
He gets upset as he's writing. He makes up a conversation, gets angry.
And Keith, if you're laughing at this,
Please.
I'm going to ask you to fold the letter up and put it back in the envelope for a few hours. And come back to it when you are of sober mind.
Do your parents get involved in your relationships?
No.
Oh, that's possible?
No, they're not allowed.
How do they do it? Did they ever? And you were like, "Hey, boundaries."
No, yeah, I have my boundaries.
Don't act like this is normal, James. Why do you think people become comics? They're more like us than this nonsense that you're talking about.
No, nobody has. Nobody has any veto power over me. I don't have a boss. I don't have, and I'm sorry, I don't take any. Nobody gets to tell me what to do.
Oh, I don't listen to them, but they still don't have an opinion.
No. I mean. Well,
Keith isn't looking forward to the letter and hoping, and trying to decide whether he's moving back or not.
My dad's out of the picture, out of the country, doesn't support gay relationships, and we don't talk.
Okay.
So that's half of it taken care of right there.
Right. Well, I think we got to the bottom of it. Yeah. Has he ever tried, or there's no talk?
Oh yeah, but I mean, I was like 24, and that was the last. It didn't go well.
Okay.
And then it was just some seasonal headbutting after that now and then he's gone. He's an expat, so I don't have to worry about him.
Right.
Yeah. And your mom?
My mom's great. She knows my boyfriend. We've all hung out, and yeah, it's fine. But she has better things to worry about than who I'm dating.
I mean, I really think that comes down to it because my parents call me up with their worries, and I'm like, none of this matters, and I don't talk to them anymore, and I really feel like at this point I'm doing them a favor because if they know about the things that I do, and they certainly don't like it, none of the things that I do, then they have to speak on that. They have to live in that truth. So they'd rather not.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. It's very Middle Eastern though.
It's like a, I don't know. It's not like don't ask, don't tell. It's like some strange code of silence.
Yeah. It's similar to don't ask, don't tell though. Yeah.
How long have you been with this gentleman?
Since January.
Since January. Are you cool that love dies?
2017. Yes, but sometimes it goes a long time.
Okay. All right. Do you do, I have to ask, do you do impressions in bed?
Well, yeah, we make fun of each other a little bit.
Okay.
I
think this is an erection. Like, do you do like that?
I want to challenge the results of this erection. You call this a fair erection?
I feel like, Keith, that you would, right? Like, if you knew someone who did voices, like, would you?
I'd ask, yeah.
Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Like, can I sleep with Bernie tonight?
Yeah, I'm fucking Jesse Ventura.
We've talked about that, but we joked about role-playing as Bernie and Jane Sanders, but then we figured it would probably be boring as far as role-play goes.
Right.
Jane, yes, Bernie. I think we sound the same. I got some very exciting, attractive, sexually arousing news. The budget proposal has come out. from the Congressional Budget Office for 2018 fiscal year, and I've got some markups. Let's read the bill back and forth to each other and mark it up, and maybe we'll get off.
I'll show you a markup. Look at this.
When your buddy does Trump, behind the
Anthony Tamanik.
do you and Anthony behind the scenes? You don't tell anybody this. Are you guys like, hey, good that Trump's president?
No.
This is great for him.
No, we're not doing it anymore. Obviously, we stopped doing Trump versus Bernie. It had a shelf life.
Right.
It might come back if they both run for president again. But
One can only hope.
I hope on half of that. But yeah, no. Tony's aim and my aim was to stop Trump, and that, I mean, unfortunately now that's his full-time job.
Right.
And he used to do other things, and I think, I mean, I don't want to speak for Tony, but I think that he feels like he has to do this thing, that he's locked into it because
He's so good at it.
he's been slamming into Trump in this way that no one else was for more than a year and a half, going, you know, he's opening up a door to fascism. And he was sounding that call in 2015, even before we started doing the tour. Yeah. And you weren't hearing that on television. And everything he warned about has come true.
Right.
And it was kind of the sad vindication where a lot of the stuff that we got into in Trump versus Bernie ended up happening. And like, there's weird, crazy moments where something that Tony did as Trump ends up doing when he's president.
Like what?
Now you've caught me. You know, like, I mean, people might remember better than me. A lot of the stuff he said in his answers in our debate, Trump ended up basically stumbling into paraphrasing them in his real public life.
When you the album Live in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
so you know, related obviously to the tour you were doing, is so smart, and I have to assume to even find out about it, you have to be intelligent, right? The crowd's intelligent.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that said,
My fans, yeah, some of both.
would the audio, maybe even without the looks, even though Anthony dressed up, of course, but when you just hear the audio, do you think it did confuse idiots?
Oh, that it's really Trump? No, but you know what happened? I think that's probably unlikely, especially when you hear the laughs. You're like, what's going on? This is obviously a comedy. But what was funny was on the tour in 2016, we're touring all around America, and a couple of times, most notably in Boston, we got to the venue, and there was a big sign taped to the door that was like, Trump versus Bernie is a comedy show. Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump will not be in attendance, because people had been asking.
Wow. And they're wondering why it's so accessible.
Yeah. I heard there was the big debate tonight. I want to come down, give my opinion.
It's past the bar. You pass the bar. It's right in the back. $20.
Yeah, I feel like I would have to debate whether I need to say that or not. Like, you know, let them think that Trump is here.
Yeah.
And then when they get here and Trump is not here.
Because you don't want to bait and switch people like that. I don't, at least. That happened another time when I was way before all this, when I was doing Jesse Ventura a lot more. I had a show at the Creek called Conspiracy Theory Live with Jesse Ventura. This is at the time when he's doing his TV show, Conspiracy Theory. I took a photo under a light with my fake, what I call the Crypt Keeper wig, which was like a goblin mask that I cupped the face out of, so it's just gray hair in the back, and that's my Jesse Ventura wig. And I took this picture, though, under a really strong light from above, so the white of the light shined out the forehead of the mask, bleeding into my real skin, so it looked a lot like Jesse Ventura, the poster. And it was New York Comedy Festival, but I swear to God, people showed up thinking it was Jesse Ventura. People showed up at the Creek thinking that Jesse Ventura was going to do like a symposium or something there.
Yikes.
And I remember, you know, there was a table full of people in the front. Right. And
in the front, and the Creek in the front is like in front of your face.
It's right in front of you. And I realized this guy is the Undertaker. And I didn't realize it all at once, but he's this big, tall guy. And as a joke, before I even pieced together, these people came thinking Jesse Ventura would really be here, I'm doing crowd work. I see this guy. He's not laughing. I'm like, what are you, the Undertaker? And he looked at me with a smirk and kind of, as if to say, like, yeah.
I could be, right.
Yeah. And then I said some remark about Paul Bearer.
Right.
And I think Paul Bearer was still alive at this time. But I walked the Undertaker and his group of people that he had come with.
Oh.
They were not amused. They got up. He was 7 feet tall or whatever, and they left. And then I had to do a moment with the rest of the room, like,
Well, looks like I've defeated the Undertaker again.
So you stayed in character.
oh yeah. I mean, you have to. If you come out in a costume, it doesn't look good to drop character.
Did I do that?
Even if you have to do like maintenance on the room or like shut down some disturbance or something, if you're in costume, you kind of have to stay in character.
Did you ever get out of character when you're in character like that?
No, I never have. Even when someone was trying to ruin the game. I remember I did a show in Atlanta, and it was like a midnight show, and I was doing Jesse Ventura, and I ended up going an hour as Jesse Ventura, which was a long time. And there was a girl heckling, which is, how could you say things, this and this and this and this and this? And I'm just like,
It's a long heckle.
I refused.
no, it went on and on and on.
And because I was like, I refuse to engage this. This is not Congress. You don't have a say here.
And so, I mean, I could have dropped the character and been like, shut up, I'm doing a thing. But then that ruins the show for me, from my point of view. And then at the same thing, some other comic, some idiot was like, James, hey, James, I'm trying to deal with this one fire in the room. And this guy's like, James, hey, James, do George Bush.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm a big believer in the fourth wall. And let me tell you, nobody's gonna drag me off of that fourth wall.
A comedian.
You can't suplex me off the fourth wall.
So even comedians, because you can tell people like to seem smart, so they want to go, I know the secret.
Yeah.
Sometimes people just don't know
That's really James.
any better. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
What about if you're? Do you ever? Okay, I used to be a clown. Not that I'm comparing what you do to what I
Perfect.
did, but I used to sometimes ride the train home or take some kind of public transportation, or even like from the party to my car. I didn't want to even take half the makeup off or like half the suit off. I would either take everything off or just have it on, and I would go to a restaurant and eat in between shows. Like
As a clown, but weren't people just taking pictures of you the whole time?
This is before everyone can take a picture everywhere.
Oh.
But also, but for me, I was like, if a kid sees me, I don't want it to be like half makeup, and so I wanted to like stay in it. If I'm going to ride the
Oh,
train,
you believed in the magic.
Oh. Wow. But then,
already because of iPhones and readily available cameras, that little era of magic is gone.
a clown can't be yourself now.
Because you could be shamed on social media. People going like, what's up here, guys? There's a clown eating soup. Hashtag.
Hey, Andrea, can you come up here for a second? By the way, speaking of dinner time, Andrea was given topics of conversation at the dinner table with her dad.
Pardon? Was this a regular thing or just this weekend where you had to see him?
No.
I mean, when
growing
you
up.
wanted to see him.
Sure, yeah. Totally. No, it was like, it wasn't me, it was everyone at the table. What it was is that my brother loves like video games and stuff. He was a video game designer, like he's very smart, but my dad didn't like him talking about video games or pop culture because it was like,
Beneath.
yeah, like, oh, that's for the, Presbyterian. We're a monarchy.
Yeah,
Andrea.
looking back, I think that's what my dad thought. Like he wanted to pretend we were smarter than we are. But we didn't do any research on anything, and he wanted these intellectual conversations, even though he couldn't hold one.
Yes.
Right, conversation is what you make. It's
Yes.
not what you dictate out. Like,
Right.
here are the topics for today's discussion. That's a debate.
Yeah, well, so what we'd have like, so my brother would naturally talk about what interested him, and then my dad would not like that. So we started to have rules like we will have dinner in the darkness, and there will just be candles, and everyone will be present, and we can talk about politics, we can talk about art, we can talk about music, not popular music,
The unpopular kind
none of
only.
this Britney Spears trash.
Meanwhile, you're 10.
Like, I wanted to be music none of us heard.
Yes, classical only. the arias. And yeah, we would just kind of stare a lot, and
Right.
it was
Would your mother be allowed?
Painfully present.
yeah.
The Andrea Allen
Oh
story.
God. Yeah, my mom, she kind of would just be like, oh, Gord. Like, she would kind of disagree with it, but also it was he made such a big deal over the dinner that it was like, all right, you can have, this can be your weird fucking thing, and we can all stare and,
I feel
awkwardly.
like, doesn't that remind you of what's the movie where the petals are constantly falling on a pedophile's
American
fucking dreams?
Beauty?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a perfect description of that.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I saw that movie as like a teen and was like, oh, I like this. It's fine. I saw it as an adult and I was like, oh my God.
Right.
So much of this is so much more relevant. And not that my dad was a creep, but just like the repressed,
Yeah.
Everyone's miserable and, jabbing at one another. The house is beautiful, but don't sit on anything. It was just so.
That was sort of like how I grew up, and I don't want to even say who said this to me, but before I saw this movie, he was like, yeah, this movie is basically depicting what a man would really be like if he lived his life for real. And I was like, oh, okay. And I went into it like that.
What,
and
American Beauty?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like, oh, finally when a guy gets to be himself, this is
Wow.
what it's like. And then I was watching it and I was like, I can't put those together. I don't really, it doesn't seem like it's that.
Are you saying like you mean take pictures of flying plastic bags? Is that what you mean, or what guy do you mean?
I feel like he feels like obviously men are attracted to their daughter's friends. Obviously, like, mothers are getting on fathers' nerves with their fucking perfection. Obviously, like, if I really wanted to do what I want, I would just work out, smoke weed, and hang out. You know?
Work at the burger place, not have any responsibility.
He goes, no, you misunderstood. I meant I'd kill people I thought were gay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows? Maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know. But it like took me out of the movie because I kept trying to find out what that meant. Like, maybe I
Yeah,
should
that's
really
weird.
know this about men. And then I'm like, this doesn't seem like it's adding up to that point. A couple years later, I watched it again and I was like, oh my God, that's a horrifying notion. This
Yeah.
is a horrifying movie of truth.
Yeah.
And it's not what a guy feels like when he gets to let loose. It's what a guy feels like when he's lost in the abyss that he created himself.
Sure.
And suddenly decides to get himself out of it in the most aggressive, disgusting way.
Sure. It's like,
You
hey,
know?
have you seen Silence of the Lambs? That's what a guy really wants. Oh, okay. I'm going to delete you from my phone.
Well, how was it that you did just see your dad? Did you guys have good dinner conversation? Did you study up on the way?
Yeah, I
Little Kierkegaard.
a little encyclopedia reading. No, it was terrible. I agreed to go away with him because he's been threatening me with his mortality recently, which he does often because he's had medical issues for his whole life.
Now, this doesn't happen with you, James? Like, your dad never threatens. My dad does this. My dad threatens, like, hey, we have to get along. We have to hang out. Well, I'm going to die anytime. Now, my dad's fault is that he threatened too many times that I don't think he'll ever die now. He's been threatening for decades.
Oh, yeah.
That is the fountain of youth that Ponce de Leon discovered.
Did you come to my family dinners? Do you know?
But he doesn't contact you at all.
No, we're not interested in each other.
Look at that.
Oh, that sounds so great.
Yeah, I wish.
Look at these guys.
Can you appreciate that?
Your father hates you.
Is that good news or sad news?
No, that's great. It's fine. I had enough.
I like your way of life, man. I do. No, he had a bunch of, more serious medical scares, cancer, he has heart transplant, kidney transplant. He's like really a bionic man. So he was making all these comments about he's going to die soon and wanting to go on a trip with me and my brother
Oh,
together.
that's so nice.
And I was like,
Hey, Andrea, I'm going to die.
please, Derek, please come on this trip with me, which is my brother. My brother is too busy or smarter than me and found a way out of it. So he takes me to, he's always wanted to go to Lake Placid for whatever reason. So we go there and he gets one room, which already, like, I'm not a snob, but he's a very wealthy person. So, and also I'm a grown woman and I'm sharing a hotel room with my dad. That's like, doesn't that seem strange?
Yes, absolutely, because he can absolutely afford that entire hotel.
Yeah, buy the whole thing. Why? I'm sleeping on a cot next to you. He's in a king-size bed just watching sports. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And staring. And so...
Staring.
Yeah.
The staring, I've noticed, is a theme.
My dad is a big starer, and he thinks conversation will just come by staring. And he'll just... I visited him fairly recently, and I'm sitting in the living room, and he'd walk to the living room and just stare and wait until something pops up.
Well, they're right,
Can't
though.
live like that. Can't live like that.
No.
Reject it. Run away from it.
Well, so they're right, though, because we will break down. I'll break down after enough staring, and I'll start saying shit. He must think I'm stupid, because I'm like, how's your friend John? Like, I don't know.
Right.
Did you golf in a different country recently?
Are you still rich?
It's that level. The only time he doesn't ask me any questions, really. And so I'll ask anything that I can to just sort of, I'm like treading water.
And he's like, how are you interviewing people on a podcast when you're the worst right now?
Right.
Do you like that shirt?
He thinks that's what your podcast is. Do you like things?
You should treat him like he's on your podcast. Okay, so we have a list here of why we think you're a hot mess. Why do you think?
I can't, that's the thing is if we open up he's such a bad person in so many ways that if I truly was like, hey, remember when you cheated on mom for 10 years? Like, what are we...
That's a weird lead-in, but okay.
Yeah, sure.
That wasn't on our list.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
That's politics, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's pop politics.
Yeah. That's too close to
But
anything
here's the
emotional.
thing. You guys have been getting along in the sense that you finding a way to be truthful in your jokes to each other.
Oh, yeah.
Did that not work out?
No, he wasn't even. Sometimes he's more feisty, and I can kind of like play around with him, like, you're gonna die soon, anyways, and he'll be like, yeah, you're probably really fucked up because I'm your dad, and well, I'll be like, yeah, golf, I want to die. But this time he was really somber. He was pissy. He was in a bad mood, and so he just. We drove around the Adirondacks. We saw leaves. We saw leaves for about 7 hours, different leaves. We drive to different locations.
You drove for 7 hours?
Yeah. Well,
you could have driven up there.
We drove. So let's go to this viewpoint to see leaves. And then we'll go to this other viewpoint to see leaves. And then, maybe we'll go down by the water and we'll stare at this. And so it was beautiful. The hotel was beautiful. Like, it's all... If I was a 75-year-old woman and I was going on a trip with my hubby, this would be a great vacation. But it's me and my dad. Like, what are we doing?
Did you smoke weed?
No, because
That's
I'm in
your
a
first
room. I'm on the cot. What am I going to make a bong out of?
Does he not smoke?
My dad, no.
Oh, he should.
He doesn't. Oh, well, he doesn't smoke. He barely drinks. But I also I sprained my back before I left for the trip, and I didn't know that I had sprained it, but. My hips are in 2 different spots.
We're going to post a picture of this. It's really fucking weird.
Crazy. And so I'm sleeping on the cot every night and it's killing me. I also have a cold and I just hear him snoring and I'm like, I want to kill you. I want to put a sock in your mouth so I can just sleep in this bed.
Do you debate about leaving a note? Like I had to go back to New York.
I was like, maybe I could Uber back. It would be $10,000, but I don't know. I'll steal his credit card and Uber back. But it's not I don't think that he would think we had a bad...
That sounds like a really funny movie.
Sure. You're a broken family. Sponsored by Uber. I don't think that he would think that we had a bad time. That's what's so bizarre about it is that he one of the days he just stayed in and watched sports. He always talked about how he travels and golfs and stays at the most amazing places. He brags to me about this. I'm like, I know your life. But, and then I'll ask questions. He'll ignore it or stare or whatever. And it's just this vicious cycle of awfulness. And then by the last day, I was in so much pain. I stood up to get ready to leave. I couldn't walk because I was in so much pain. So I'm yelping. I grab something and I'm like, I think I have to lay down on the ground.
Oh, yelping like making sounds, not
Yeah.
looking up the best hospital.
Yeah.
This hotel gave me a bad cot.
Also, what do these people think about us? Like, you're Mr. Allen, you and your wife, child bride.
And then you're screaming.
Yeah, so I'm screaming, and then I lie on the ground, and he goes, I don't know what to do.
Oh, Jesus.
That was your mom's business.
No, really, he doesn't know how to, like, care for someone.
He pets you.
He wouldn't touch me. He's just staring and standing over me. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, okay. And then I start to freak out because, you know, sometimes your lower back is where your kidneys are. And I'm like,
He runs entire companies. He doesn't know what to do. Call your secretary.
yeah, I don't know.
Do what old rich people do. Call someone and go,
He goes, it's not working out. I think we might have to let you go.
This whole,
He calls the secretary, flowers should be at your place in 3 days.
yes, he was so dumbfounded. And I go, well, what if it's my kidneys, you know? Because I'm like, I've never had a back injury like
And to
this.
make it worse, you're a hypochondriac.
Sure, exactly. Why am I hypochondriac? Because I spent 5 years in the hospital with this man. Like, I'm very much a product of, you know, whatever.
Also, I don't know what to do. What if you were laying down with your back hurt and you had a lot of money?
Yeah.
Right.
I used
What
to clean
could
up.
you do, James? Could you come up? You're not a dad, James, but could you come up with one thing?
He started throwing money at her.
Sure.
Making it rain.
You can get a chiropractic helicopter. You can get chirovac'd.
See?
Right?
That's got to be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm laying on the ground and I go, oh my God, what if it's my kidneys or something like that? He goes, don't make a scene. Let's not make it what it's not. I'm like,
Are you around anyone to make a scene about?
no. Also, like, I can't walk. It's a scene of a crime. It is my scene of my death with you. And so finally, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to crawl
No!
to the bathroom to try to take a bath because maybe, like, the warmth will help me.
And he's like, could you not be naked? Because I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do, even though I booked us in this room together. You're taking shits every night, like, oh, it's a symphony. Shits and snoring, and it's like just the worst. And so I'm like, finally, I'm finally mobile, and I'm like, okay, something's fucked up, but like, I'm gonna deal with it when I get back to New York.
Do you have health insurance?
I do, yeah.
Is there a reason why you're not?
Because we're in Lake Placid,
Okay,
you
fair.
know, and he also doesn't want to deal with this.
Sure, there's a doctor in Lake Placid. Sure, if he's up, he'll be happy to come take a look.
But did you see the leaves first? A lot of times. The leaves.
He usually likes to walk to people's houses on his house calls.
It's a leisurely walk. It's good for the soul. You want a happy doctor.
Your kidneys, you say. So we go. Then he decides we're going for breakfast. I don't know.
I don't know what to do. Ready for breakfast?
We're done with this. So now,
Are you done with your scene?
sure.
Okay.
Yes. He walks way faster than me with an umbrella, and I'm
You're hobbling.
I'm hobbling behind him.
Do you have an umbrella?
No, just like okay. I'll try not to hold you back. And so then we eat breakfast, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you're having a hard time." I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And you should see a doctor. Okay, that's great. I'll do that when we get back. We're
He finally figured it out. Andrea, give him the credit.
sure,
He
right.
said, I got it.
Something is wrong.
Eureka! Go see a doctor.
You're sideways.
I Googled it.
Hey, Andrea, I noticed you didn't walk like that as a kid. Something's amiss.
The hips should be in the same general area.
You're so stupid. You're walking dumb.
I honestly, it feels like this is my fault. Like I ruined the weekend with my negligence. Somehow it's my fault. I don't know. So I'm packing up the car, and he's packing up the car. He pulls it up so that I don't have to carry my bags, which is nice. My cell phone is in my pocket, and I'm putting my purse down.
He pulled the car up, so you're still carrying your bag.
Sure,
But he pulled the car up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Great.
We are making compromises, Hemda.
He literally can throw $20 at someone, and you both won't have to carry
No,
anything.
it's-
But you're your own girl.
I mean, I'm like trying to not. I don't want to make a big deal. He like I knew he would freak out if I made a big deal about my pain because he doesn't like people expressing weakness in any sense of the word.
James, you have a thought?
I'm trying to hold it in.
No, let it
No,
out.
go ahead.
I just think I don't like, if the story's accurate, I don't really like what I hear about your dad.
No, it's not the best. He's
Really
not
having
the
some breakthrough emotions there, James.
Yeah.
How
I
would
don't think I let people like that around me.
yeah.
so far with what you're hearing? What does Gary Busey think about all this? Is family important?
You will never understand the love of a father for his progeny.
It's hard for them to explain.
Father stands for forever asking the heavens,
Right.
eternally requesting silence.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
what fathers stand for.
He was requesting silence. So I put my handbag in the front seat of the car, and my phone falls out from my jacket pocket. Now it's stuck in between the seats, and I'm like, I need to get my phone. It fell down, and he just starts yelling at me like, "Why would you put your phone in your hand?" Like he hadn't seen that it was in my pocket. Whatever. What? Well,
Who puts their phone in their
I don't
hand,
give a
Andrea?
fuck. I don't care if my phone was on top of my head. Like you're yelling at me about it falling. Why would you do that to the? And I'm.
What do you think? Do you think it's because these? And I know it's something I basically said in my first album, Coming of Age, but I feel like these, at least for my dad, he remembers us as the kids that shat their diapers. And even at 43, do I need shelves?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's accidents happening. You drop the phone in between seats. Who cares? But it's actually just another stupid thing
Right.
my stupid baby did.
I think it's a reflection of themselves. They're embarrassed by everything. They would be embarrassed if they dropped their phone, and now you're embarrassing them, and everything is a trigger, and they are not dealing with any emotion, so everything that you do is terrible. Everything that he says to you is how he feels about himself.
Well, yeah. I mean, I also like.
James, you following this? Write this down. This is genius shit.
I used to like sort of believe that there was validity to things that he said, or that because he was so successful and whatever, that he, he was right about things, or I should take some of it as serious.
But here's the thing. So this is because I've been thinking about you and your dad this weekend. Because
Oh, yeah?
I knew you were away. I wanted to text you, but I'm like, let her live her life.
Oh,
you know,
I was
have
living real good.
I have
That
boundary
was this
issues.
weekend.
James is so judging you.
No, I'm not judging you. I'm just hoping that I'm hoping that you can like spend less time with them.
Yeah, that's the plan. This
Yeah.
was the last straw.
Yeah.
This trip.
So here's the thing. So there's a thing about like this is a wealthy man. He made it himself. He went through a lot of like medical issues. He came through. He should have died 50 times, right? This is all true. So he's quote successful. But none of this is what you're going for. Like literally not. I thought about it.
Yeah.
The fact that you think that your dad is successful when I hear you list your, hopeful success in the future, none of it is this.
Sure.
Like he's married to someone who you wouldn't even like that's not a successful marriage to you. It is to them, but it wouldn't feel successful to you.
Yeah.
Him having this much money but without a foundation that you're talking about, it's not success to you. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like we always compare ourselves to fake successes that we're not even, and then once we start doing that, we'll never live up to it because we'll never be that.
Well, yeah, and I also I used to think he was impressive, but now the more and more like I'm away from him and my adult brain is fully formed, I'm like, a person that brags constantly about how rich they are is a loser. Like whenever I meet someone who is always throwing their accomplishments in my face, I'm like, what are you like? Why are you doing that? Why do you need to do that? So I just I feel sorry for him in a lot of ways. I think that he's very lonely, and like I have empathy for him. I do see that he's freaked out by the coming death, whenever that may be. So I'm like trying to care for him in a way, but I'm like, I can't not at this cost, because
Do you realize that the yelling about the phone, do you realize it's ridiculous? Do you start feeling bad for yourself, a little of both?
oh, I realize it's ridiculous. So I start crying because I'm like, I'm in so much pain. You're screaming at me right now.
And does he say, when you cry, I don't know what to do?
He probably, can I guess? He goes, "What are you crying over? Stop crying."
Yeah. Or like calm down type, thing.
Like you're exaggerating. You're making a scene.
Sure, like let's just get it and whatever. And then I'm kind of like weeping as we drive along.
I'm not crying.
Well, because I don't want to, like, and so an hour passes, and then he goes, I'm sorry that I was short with you. I was feeling your pain.
Oh,
What an empath.
And I'm like, dude.
So he has the one half page of notes he took on empathy was
Sure.
from Bill Clinton.
Yeah, exactly. I was really in there with you, and how stupid you are that you dropped this phone.
That's just his excuse, right? That can't be true.
No, I think he was in a bad mood this weekend, and he's passive aggressive, and he gets sullen when things aren't how he wanted to be. Like the leaves weren't to the level that he wanted, and
He had some romantic idea of what it would be like. Yeah.
And it didn't pan out, and so he's just waiting to freak out at me, but I'm behaving so like quietly and respectfully because I can sense that it's going to happen. And then now this is his moment to like go for the jugular because I'm all fucked up and injured and I'm this idiot like dropping my phone. And so
It's good that you realize this, though. For example, I dated somebody that, let's say
God, if this is me, I'll kill him.
I would drop a dish, right? And I'd be almost yelled at.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, what are you doing? We're adults.
yeah.
And then another time, I would realize, she would even say, like, yeah, I would spill a glass of orange juice, and my dad would yell at me. And she would realize it's wrong, but couldn't help herself when something else happened. I get treated like a baby.
Yeah.
It's good that you realize that.
Sure. I also realize, like, the more that I've seen him recently, like, I'm very hard on myself. But I also, like, I get frustrated when other people don't reach up to expectations that I set in my head. And I'm like, dude, what's the fucking, I don't ever do that to other people. Like, I'm not crazy, but I was like, that's what he does. Like, it's not your business. If someone doesn't, reach up to your grandiose expectations, like, walk away. So
I feel like I do that, and that's why I'm called intense, and I've been trying to stop doing that now.
Yeah.
It's terrible. But now I don't know where the in-between is, right?
Sure.
So I get livid, right? So I'm just like, no, you said that you would do this. This is the time where it needed to get done. Whatever it is, right? And, like, I feel right. I am right. But still, like, something in me, like, you got to let it go because it doesn't matter. That's how it happened, right? So follow me on this. The other day. Okay. Tell me who's right.
Okay.
Being right can be very wrong.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that. So we're at my brother's place, Hubby Face and me, Hennessy. And we're going to order pizza for everyone. There's 4 people and a baby. So we're ordering Domino's. How much should pizza be from Domino's for 4 people? Go around the room.
Domino's. First of all, Domino's, they shouldn't charge. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, about $40.
Okay. We'll take 40.
All right, so I would assume you're getting 2 pies. So, yeah, like 30, 40.
Okay.
40 is the higher end of it, maybe.
Maybe you get an extra breadstick or
Sure,
two.
mozzarella jizz thing, whatever.
Sauce,
Yeah.
yes. White cum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first you go online. You start an account. That account is already used and taken. So you know it's not because you've never signed up under that email address. But you have another email address, so you sign into that. Then you fill out your whole order. Then they tell you they don't deliver there. They send you to another sister store. You fill out that, but it doesn't take the code, which is Yankees. Because you're a Yankees fan, you get free dessert. So you type in Mets. Same deal. They don't really care. It's a trick. So you fill that out. But then the store's closed. So let's see.
Fair.
Well, that you're making it a big deal when they said about 40. I'm going to say 70.
Okay. It was $80.
No.
Okay. Thank you.
No.
Now here's what happens,
you
right?
gourd?
I didn't do it. He's ordering, and I'm like, okay, Michael wanted half this, and I'll share that to just get a full pile, whatever it was. And he's like, I got it. And I'm like, oh God, I hate when he got it like that. I hate that because he doesn't want any input anymore. And now if I try to get in there, like, hey, did you make sure that I got this thing? Then now I'm just being like overbearing. So I'm like, it's pizza, right?
What could go wrong?
Back off. I don't know how much it is. I just figure like it's $40. We're partying, right? And I get a call from my bank going, hey, we think there's a fraudulent charge. And I'm like, oh, what could this be? And he's right next to me. We're walking. He's like, so the person on the phone was like, $80 for pizza. And I'm like, oh my God, did somebody just steal my card and buy pizza? And
ordered
we also
3
just
times?
buy pizza.
What a coincidence.
More believable than an $80 order.
Right. And I go, $80. And he didn't know who I was on the phone with, but I go, $80 for pizza? And he's like, oh, fuck, I fucked up. And I go, and I'm like, oh, I'm practicing like us not fighting because we've been fighting about really, nonsense, trivial shit, which is money, but, like also it can get very petty.
Who's
And
this?
Me and my husband. Like,
But it isn't your brother who ordered?
no, this is Hennessy who
Okay,
ordered, yeah.
okay.
And that's why they're calling me on my card. And so I'm just like, do we fight about this or do we not? And I go, it happens. And I'm like, I got to call Al-Anon. I got to call someone. Like, this is terrible. This is $80. I can fucking feed a whole party with $80. I'm going to just calm down. I'm just going to calm down.
You have to take one of those pizzas and put it in the freezer to justify it.
Just can't.
I'm taking these leftover pizza and I'm canning it.
Okay. But I'm just like, well, I don't want anyone yelling at me for stupid fucking $40, let's call it,
But
right?
did you drop your phone? Let's be fair.
Yes, I did, and it's cracked.
Like an idiot.
So, so then I remember back to a day before where someone gave us $40 cash, and we're like, okay, $40 cash, we now have that. I put it in my pocket. Like an hour later, I'm just like, so you grabbed the 40, right? No, it fell out of my pocket. So I lost $40. And he's like, it happens. And I'm like, well, I can't yell at you for $40 if you didn't yell at me for losing $40. And then I'm like,
Why was it $80?
I don't even know to this day. I ate the pizza. It was not $80 pizza.
Extra everything?
Yeah.
Was it just 2 pizzas?
It was 2 large and a small.
Okay.
No, not okay.
No, but then I'm trying to. I have to know this.
Yeah.
Are there 2 salads per person?
No.
Bunch of breadsticks
Couple breadsticks,
and
sure,
then
sure.
cinnamon dips.
No cinnamon dip.
2 big sodas.
Nope.
What?
Right.
It doesn't check out.
None of that brownie, core oozing out in the middle thing. None
Chicken
of that.
wings?
No chicken wings.
What the hell? Okay,
Was the pizza made of dollar bills? Like, was the crust actually made of dollar bills?
Yes. After we ate it, everyone got a blowjob. It was really weird.
Sirloin steak.
Sure. Those are the secret toppings. He knew the code.
You know, we'd get to the bottom of it.
Abalone. A rare topping. One of the most expensive.
From Italy.
So when your dad
Anyway, we're divorced now, but go on with your story.
your dad starts yelling at you, you're crying. Does he just tell you to get out of the car?
He runs me over. I'm going to back over you now to fix you. No, we just continue.
Okay.
He made me cry so much. I think I started crying because he was yelling at me, but the whole weekend, like the morning with the lying on the ground and all of it just like hit a certain point.
I think you're just a spoiled brat. You named such nice things.
I know, right?
You were in a hotel, you bitch. That's A.
Sure.
Leaves. I heard leaves. I heard several places of leaves. I assume he was driving you around because, like an asshole, you don't have
Sure.
you don't have your license.
Yep.
So now he's got to do that.
Yep.
I don't know what you want from him.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't even get a novelty Lake Placid t-shirt out of this whole fucking thing.
Now, maybe it's just the English accent, but let me ask you this, Michael Caine. Family, is it so important? Or is it like people without family, they end up picking their own family in the form of friends?
Family, I think, are just cunts.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, very good. Michael Caine, thank
Sums
you.
it up. Sums it up. Yeah.
I didn't know this was one of the characters I'd be expected to do.
How about Fred Phelps? How does he feel about family? You know him, of course, from the God Hates Fags Church.
Westboro Baptist Church. God hates family. God hates everything that anyone could ever do at any time. Masturbation, looking the wrong way, waking up late, and especially faggotry.
Is the hurricanes and the tornadoes? Is this a sign that we're not listening to God?
God hates that I'm dead.
He misses you.
God is distraught. Fred Phelps had to go down to hell.
Was that a sad day, James, when Fred passes away and you're like, he's an evil guy, but God damn it, that was fun to do him.
No, it was not worth. I mean, that's
Okay.
it's never. I never think like that.
But it's just interesting. You impersonators do such evil people.
They're such
That's just
characters.
part of what you want to do is, well, sometimes they're not evil, but sometimes in that case he is evil, and you want to make fun of him and you want to make people laugh at this idiot.
All right.
But he's dead now, so I mean, he left behind a church full of demons that still does his work.
Do you do them?
Oh yeah,
All at the same
individually.
Have you talked to your dad since you got back?
Yeah, we emailed once. He came into the city. He actually saw the studio and Queens briefly. He called it Blue Collar, which was very nice.
Okay. Down to earth.
Sure. He's also like he's from a shit town and can't like he was not born rich, so I don't know why he's so condescending about everything. But
Was he impressed at all with the studio?
Don't ask that.
No.
Now we're gonna feel bad about ourselves.
No?
Come on, you know
No.
he's not impressed. Think of my dad walking in here and he goes, "Ugh,
yeah, I
my
think
daughter." Ugh.
my boyfriend met us for dinner.
Oh,
and
shit.
yeah, I was like, God, I can't back out of it now because I made the plan beforehand. And I was packing my stuff up and like changing, and we walked out to go to a restaurant, and my boyfriend overheard him go like, Jesus Christ, like just I think to no one about like the general state of, I don't know if he was pissed about being here or that he was unimpressed by this. I'm not sure.
Did he say anything specific? Now I do want to know.
No, not really. He said at least there's not cockroaches was his one comment about.
About the studio?
Yeah.
What the fuck? It's a nice studio.
Yeah, welcome.
I'm not surprised. You're so funny, Keith. You're so funny.
I don't know him.
Yeah.
No, but like you know of him. He's the same as every other.
Yeah,
Sorry,
every story
asshole
checks
dad.
out, yeah.
My mom once walked into an apartment. I'm thinking like, oh my God, I'm an adult. I'm paying my rent. I moved again. Like I'm in a better situation. I'm in the neighborhood that I want. She walked into the apartment and cried.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, this is where my daughter lives.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I live in the East Village.
Absolutely embarrassing.
No one's around, by the way, for her to be embarrassed. It's just me, but she's embarrassed.
Yeah, I think he's just like, yeah, I'm disappointed at, or I don't know, or maybe he thinks I'm like beneath living. Meanwhile, like I lived in a basement before. Like I lived in a different location, in a different location, but it wasn't like whatever. I'm not like I don't listen to any of this shit. At this point, I'm just like, okay, we got to get through it.
How did Dustin do?
Great. He was so polite, but he was like, your dad is rude. My dad didn't ask him anything about himself. He didn't really talk to him. The best part of the dinner was him asking the Greek waitress if she knew this Greek guy that he knew. That was his big joke. And then he talked about interest rates for like 45 minutes, and then it was over. And I was like, okay, get in your Uber or SUV back into the city and fucking,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, so if he does, is that still a threat to you?
No, I mean, it's not a threat to, I don't,
Because he uses it as a threat. Are you okay?
Oh, yeah, no, it's not a threat. No,
Okay.
This is over. Like, this
Okay.
was so bad. And there are times I've had dinners with him in the past where it's been better. I've had better moments, and then there'll be worse moments, but there was just so much nastiness, and I was just like, for what? No. He wants to go on a trip with me and my brother to like Japan or somewhere really far away, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to another country with you.
Absolutely not.
Well, you
Yeah.
can't Uber from there.
Sure.
You can't escape on an Uber.
Yeah.
James, you seem like this is the first time you ever heard that somebody doesn't get along with their parent like this.
No, I get it very much. I just like walked away from everything
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
it brings up my old fight and flight instinct.
Did it take
For me,
you,
it's fight and flight.
Did it take you a while though? Because for me, it took a while, and it's almost embarrassing. Like every time I would come back and be like, "He made me cry again," and I'm like, "This has to be the last time."
Nobody makes me cry unless they're going to be crying too.
Oh,
I promise.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can be as nasty as anybody wants
But
to be.
like aside from crying is just the physical manifestation of how he makes you feel.
Right.
But did it take you like a bunch of back and forth?
I don't know. It's just a bunch of explosive fights, and I had to kick him out of my house one time.
But it does
my
give you.
apartment.
But it seems it gives you anxiety hearing about other people's. family
Yes,
strife.
yes. It sucks that dads are like that, and I think dads abuse their power they have in a family. Oftentimes, it's not just dads, but
Yeah, they're
powerful members of a family often can abuse their power.
Yes, it's usually the aunt, but let's just say dad for this one.
if we're gonna use say
Yeah, let's just dad. Let's use dad for this example.
Do you ever think about
Dad types.
Do you think about having children? Break the cycle.
No, I feel like having children and continuing the cycle.
Yeah.
I could. I'm not at a place right now where I'm interested, but
Right.
that could be later on. Yeah,
Good for you, man.
maybe.
Keith, are you still thinking of having kids?
Yeah, I see what's out there. It needs more of me for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure. Probably. This is the answer. Yeah, sure, probably.
yeah.
Really motivated.
Yeah, I know Landmark would say pick a date, but
You're just like, I know how to get someone pregnant. The end.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not doing any of that shit.
by the way, you want to hear something? I got my groove back this week.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Stella got her groove back.
that's right.
Did you go on a vacation?
I did a little.
Jamaica.
Did a little.
Jamaica Queens.
I still got it. You know about walls?
Walls.
Yeah, up against them.
Oh.
Yeah, chairs.
Oh, jeez.
You know what I'm talking about? Huh?
You got what shelves?
I got shelves.
You got
On my wall.
TVs?
These are things I have. I'm just naming.
Did you? You saying you masturbated in your apartment this weekend?
yeah.
Is that what happened?
And I still got it.
yeah.
It's good to know.
Did you meet a lady?
I met a lady for a second. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I met a lady for a second.
Well,
Where?
I don't want to get too personal. you know.
Okay, you brought it up though, so. To be fair.
Wow, it is tough talking to ladies.
You did it, though.
With dudes, that's the end of it.
Really? Well, it's so funny because with dudes, it's not the end of it. We heard about a wall and a chair, and then
Sure.
we couldn't look at you for like 5 seconds.
Where'd you meet the lady?
Mind your business.
Okay. No further questions.
He met her at Pound Town, Andrea.
Sorry.
Please.
Invite only.
Pound Town, the classiest joint.
We're just stuck with the name. We don't like it either.
It had the right awning.
Right.
Awnings are expensive.
Yeah.
Are you? Did you find dating tough? Are you good at it?
I don't know if I'm good at it. No, I've disappointed lots of people.
Okay.
I think sometimes I've been picky, and sometimes I've been less picky, and sometimes I've fallen on the wrong side of someone's pickiness. And there's also like personality difficulties. Some people, I mean, you go at different speeds, you're up at different times, and I actually stopped trying very hard,
Okay.
and then I met someone I'm very much in love with,
There you go. And that's the
and I
lesson.
wasn't looking. But I've done that before, and it didn't work. So I mean,
But did you mean it before though?
I don't know. I somebody else figure it out. I was focused on work and not really on dating, and then I met my boyfriend about a year ago.
I totally believe that happens because when you're looking to fit someone into the box and you'll cram them in, and that's why it doesn't work. But when you're not looking, you're like, I see the stuff I wouldn't like, so I can make a clear decision. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah, and you go, this works.
Yeah.
I don't mind this. Yeah, let's go hang out next week.
Yeah. Yeah, and then when that doesn't work, it's cool because
Because I don't need it.
I don't give a shit. Yeah.
What does Mark Maron think about relationships?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not good. Yeah, it's like coffee. Like you drink some and it's bad, and then you want more.
Oh my God, it's just like coffee.
Fuck.
James Adomian will be at Caroline's. What do you think of that? He'll be there tonight, as a matter of fact, up
be
to
there
the
tonight.
15th.
That's big
Yeah,
time.
I'm gonna split out of here pretty quick and get over there. And yes, tonight at 7:30, and then Friday, Saturday at 10, and then Sunday at 7:30.
Outstanding.
And in November, I'll be in Cleveland, Ohio, and Chicago, Illinois. And then in December, I'll be in Bloomington, Indiana.
Nice.
Okay. And I'd like to. I'm sorry we talked about family and.
No, it's fine. Family's
Yeah.
important. I do have people in my family I love. That's just not that's not juicy radio.
Hey, who do you love in your family? You can name them.
Well, I love my mom.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
What's she up to?
What's the date? Thursday? It's her day off.
Okay, it's her day off. All right, good for her. Okay. Isn't that sweet?
So, yeah, I think she's having a good time.
Did that get rid of the anxiety?
I feel better already thinking about it.
Okay, absolutely. So let's focus on moms today.
I'm not talking to mine, but you guys can think about yours. I'll think about Andrea's.
It's
mom.
always
Sure.
something, isn't it?
These
Great.
women.
I have it the worst.
You can check James out, of course, at Facebook, Twitter, right?
Yeah, there is a Facebook page now. I haven't really been active on it, but I was off of Facebook for years, and then I was forced to reopen a page.
Weren't you mad at the different? Did you? Are you one of the people who changed their platforms because they don't like the way Google is or Facebook is?
Yeah,
or
I went through all those things. And
Yeah.
it didn't work. It didn't do anything except hurt my career. But I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. That's where the happiest things happen.
I think those people can just, it's so weird that people can just record now anywhere. And just last night, I'm just, it's on top of the Facebook app. It's like, this person's live. And I don't know, I let anybody join my Facebook, and I don't know half these people. But I just click, and I'm the only person. And they've been going for a half hour. And then they go, "Oh, you're watching? I'm embarrassed." Like, well, who was it for? And who were you talking to? Because I don't hear anybody else talking.
Well, I don't know what to do, so.
And
It's yours.
And I'll just stare, and then they're weird because I'm watching. I love when there's one or two people, and I'm one of the only people. I'm like, look at that. You're just on a couch. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. Oh, well. Spock from Star Trek. All right.
Highly illogical.
Oh, God, you're good. You are good. You really are good. Andrea Allen, thank you. The Twitter account, of course, is Andrea Comedy.
Thank you.
See what's doing. She's looking for a new dad.
And also, seriously, if you like this show, you're going. I guarantee it. You could punch me in the face if you don't. The Hot Mess Comedy Hour.
Thank you.
Andrea and Emily host it, and it fucking rocks. Hot Mess Comedy Hour. I don't understand why you're not listening to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And for Henda's sake, please keep up the quality.
I
Okay?
will.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, guys.
All right.